Hey, what's up, Hilo News family? This show is brought to you by Baptist Health's Pine App. Healthcare at your fingertips with the Pine App. Head to HiloNewsMiami.com right now to learn more about their app and all the new features created to improve your healthcare experience with Baptist Health. Thank you for tuning in. This was awesome. Thank you for tuning in. What's up, Hilo News family? Welcome to another episode of Can We Talk, our web series, our podcast about people doing dope things in the community, and today is no different. And it's election season, so we're talking to candidates so you can hear from them for yourselves to know why you should be voting for them and know all the issues that they're standing on. And today I have a very special guest. I'm so excited to have this young lady on the show with me from Miami Gardens. Welcome to the show, Councilwoman Katrina Wilson. Hey.
Hello. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
The pleasure is all mine. Trust me, it is all mine.
Look, I know you're out there, you're campaigning. Like, that just shows the testament of how hard you're working for your constituents and how hard you work in the community. You're taking time to speak with us today, right? Live from the polling site. But yes. I wanted to say thank you for taking time to speak to independent media, Black-owned media. You know, that shows a lot of the, the testament to your character, and also to like you're dedicated to your cause as well. So I just want to say thank you.
You're very, very welcome. I'm a lifelong educator, which means I never stop learning, just like I never stop teaching. And the one thing that I learned when I was a senior high school teacher was to always give opportunity to my students to showcase their talents. And so when I see young people like you that are out there showcasing your talent, creating new content, opening up to new audiences, that to me says, I want to give you an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to develop, and an opportunity to create a new market. Because one thing I've learned about Black people, we're not imitators, we are creators.
Come on now, you better. Look, I already see what the mood of this interview is going to be. I've loved it already, and I'm gonna just jump right in. I want to know, for people who may not know you, may not be familiar, tell me a little bit about where you're from, a little bit about your background too, and also too, like what area you're representing as well.
Well, you know what? I grew up part of my life in Liberty City. My grandfather, my mom, they lived down in Liberty City in the Brown Sub area. I am a product of one. I am one of four girls. And my mom was a teenage mother, my dad, teenage father. They were 16 and 19 respectively when they got married and decided to raise a family. And so, coming out of Liberty City, my parents were striving to offer us a little bit better than what they had. And so we moved into Miami Gardens when I was in I think it was the third grade. And I started at Myrtle Grove, and I moved to Parkway, graduated from Carroll City, and went on to college right here in Miami Gardens at Florida Memorial University, which was then Florida Memorial College. So I am truly a product of Miami Gardens and what Miami Gardens or Carroll City can in fact produce. I've always had mentors in my life. I was raised up by Zeta Phi Beta and the Arcanets. I was a Bud of Spring, and just always involved in things while I was in school, not because I wanted to be, but because my parents and these ladies who were in service at the time through their sororities and their own social agencies pulled me and thought I had some possibilities in my life and decided to change the course of where I was going. And so growing up here in Miami Gardens, this has been my home for the lion's share of my life. I got married, I moved to Homestead, and I realized the value of really living in a Black community and what it does for you. You know, we in Miami Gardens have gone through a lot of transitions. You know, we became a city, and then someone decided that they were going to make a movie about us and call us Murder Gardens. And I think the people and the leadership stood up and said, we're more than Murder Gardens. We're more than somebody calling us a flea market city. We're more than what you believe that we are, the inner city or the new inner city. You know, the people of Miami Gardens said, we're not going to let you define us as that. And so I think I wanted to be a part of what can contribute to the greatness and the development of the prominence of our city, not only just in Miami-Dade County, but in the southeastern United States. So that when you wanted to come and find Black excellence, that you can find that we can grow people just like me. Just an ordinary girl, started within the inner city, but because people believed in her and didn't write her off and say that she came from teenage parents and that her schools went to, where she went to, she didn't have good teachers and all of that kind of foolishness and nonsense. They said, no, we can change the trajectory of her life. And guess what? She can now be in leadership. And so if there is not a greater testimony of what we can do, of what you can do with your platform, we've got to always disprove the narrative that just because we came from where you think we came from, that goodness can come from anywhere. Success can come from anywhere. All you got to do is have it on the inside of your soul and you will make it.
I love that. And you know what? I didn't know that you actually went to all the schools I went to. I'm a product of Murder Grove Parkway in Carroll City. I ended up graduating from Northwestern, but I'm a chief at heart always.
I got you.
So I understand that energy. I understand that greatness that's coming out of you. And I think, you know, being a Miami Gardens resident, born and raised, I always say greatness comes out of Miami Gardens. And so you definitely are a testament to that legacy and that greatness that comes from Miami Gardens. Can you tell me what was the spark that made you say, you know what, I'm going to run for office. I want to, you know, instead of just voting, I want to be a part of that change that my community sees. What was that got you started?
You know, believe it or not, this kind of started when I was a teacher at Miami Killian Senior High School. And when I got there, there were these wonderful Black children that came out of Richmond Heights. And it was like I was perturbed over the fact that nobody in the CAP office was trying to get them into college. And when I looked into their home situation, these were bright children coming out of fantastic homes. Their parents were educators, their parents were business people, their parents were, you know, they just were good kids. They were from middle to upper middle class homes, and yet they were being ignored. Their talents were being ignored. Their skills were there was no clear path for them to be successful at Miami Killian. And Miami Killian was the third best school ranked in the county. And so I decided that I was not going to let that go by because nobody let that go by with me. So I created programming inside of Miami Killian for those students that were Black. But then I realized something, that my greatest work was not at Miami Killian. My greatest work was in my own community. See, we tend to go out all of the time. And I'm not saying that there isn't a place for us in other cities and other communities, but it's almost like, how you gonna clean up somebody else's house and yours dirty? So part of what I decided to do, yes, that if I was going to make a difference and really be able to feel that difference, that I needed to go home. I needed to come back home, and I needed to impact on my schools, and not being able to say, oh, well, I'm at Miami Killian. That was not hard work. The hard work was at Miami Carroll City. The hard work is at Northwestern. And the hard work and the most progressive work is at those schools where the intelligentsia, the success stories go back and give back and create even more, that create the next generation of talent and leadership and people with aspirations. So coming back to Miami Gardens was about coming back home and giving back to my own and really trying to make a huge difference and not count that robbery. Because I lived in a suburban area, and yet my neighbors didn't say good morning to me. But when I am in Miami Gardens, my neighbor waves in the morning. And when I go to the store, people know me and call me by my name. And they know me as the girl they went to school with, or they know me as the girl that went to the same school, like you just said. Hey, I got that Carol City Live. So we can connect on a different level. So that was part of why I came back home.
That's so important. And that's interesting that, that was the spark for you to get into politics or to represent your community. I want to know, what are some of the highlights from since you've been elected? What are some of the highlights or some things that you've done in the community that people may or may not know about that you want to like let them know and that they should, know, especially going into those polling booths?
Well, one of the things that I have done is when I was teaching, I was a social studies teacher and I taught history. And I know how important history is into giving people a perspective of who they are, where they came from, and what they can become. So that's why I started the first Juneteenth. Because see, right here in Miami Gardens, what this city is a testament of is standing for us and saying we are going to self-govern. We're going to take a chance on ourselves to build our city that's reflective of the people that live here. And just like we can't forget that that's the courage of Shirley Gibson and a whole lot of other people that joined her in the movement to establish the largest Black city in the southeastern portion of the United States, we cannot forget where we came from as a people in the whole United States. And how even at one time, this thing was kept secret about our liberty. And there were people in a place that didn't even know they were free because moms was the word, because economics was driving the decision as to whether or not they were going to let these people be free. So we can't forget, as we look around in Miami Garden and the transitions and the changing in our demographics is shifting, we can't forget that this was built on the backs of people who said we are going to be free to govern and create a city that we believe in, that we have made. So Juneteenth is wrapped up in there like a wrap. It's a lot of stuff on the inside of it that's not only about the African American experience in the United States, but it is collectively about our experience right here in Miami Gardens. So I started the Juneteenth. I started the HBCU Combine because I see a lot of boys that are between the ages of 19, 20, 21, 22 that don't have a clear path path after high school. So I said, well, why don't y'all go to the HBCU? Why are you standing around and you don't have any place to go? And you played football and basketball and all of the other sports where you could get a scholarship to go to an HBCU. So what if you didn't go to a D1? Neither did I, but I got a good education at Florida Memorial, and you can get one at FAM. You can get one at Cookman. You can get one at Jackson State. You can go to Fort Valley, Albany State. There are a lot of HBCUs that would love the talent that you would bring to them with your sports and physicality to help make you great. And guess what? You could get a scholarship that will pay for your education. You don't need to be here on the road. So I mean, on the side of the street. So I started the HBCU to begin the process of doing what was not done at Miami Killian, and that's getting these kids ready for college and to get them in there wherever they can go to play basketball, football, get in JROTC, get them moving so that they can get off the street and into a school after they graduate. And something happens, I think, to African American males when they go to Black colleges. They find themselves in a different way and they see excellence and they see what they can become. And so that was the second, one of the second most important things that I've done. And I would say the third thing was to start the marketplace. You know, I just like you, here you are, this young woman, and you have this here podcast and you're putting out content. But the question becomes, where is the platform for you to begin to even for people to know about your work? And so the marketplace to me gives us an opportunity to put our talent on display, whether it's through the news, whether it's through your makeup line, whether it's through your hairstyling, whether it's through the clothing that you make, the jewelry that you're making, you know, whichever the food that you're cooking, whatever your creativity is, you ought to be able to go to the marketplace and create another stream for yourself, even when you cannot afford a brick and mortar building. Even when you have to use your own kitchen at home, that you will be able to take that food and sell it somewhere, or take your clothing and sell it somewhere. And sell it somewhere so that you can make a name for yourself, And so those revenue streams are extremely, important to me. And then I think the fourth thing that I did, and I'll stop there, is I have led the cleanup of Miami Gardens. I am saying to people, I want this trash up off the floor. I want your yards. You don't need to have all of this expensive stuff. Just cut the yard, pick the trash up, and turn your lights on at night because you got the beautiful homes already. These houses are going for $300,000 and $450,000. And we have kids that are going into other neighborhoods living when your mom has a beautiful home here. And you can take it and you can make it beautiful, and not have to pay any rent. These houses are your 40 acres and a mule. They're very, very valuable. And they are far more valuable than you could ever imagine. But you're selling them, you're allowing them to run down, and you won't have the opportunity to purchase these homes in other communities. I lived in Homestead and I didn't want to live there anymore. So I was trying to convince my husband, let's move back. And he said, well, if you want to go, you find the house. And I tell you, I started from Homestead and I went all the way to Broward. The best houses I found, Liberty City to Miami Gardens. They're the best houses. All you got to do is paint them, turn the water on and grow your grass, and you will have a nice house it has the best access to highways, that has the best traffic. You're centered right here in Dade County. So I think that sometimes we are downing ourselves, as African Americans, to be able to say, I don't mind living around African Americans. I don't mind living around Hispanics, because when we first moved to which was then Carroll City, everybody on my block was white and Hispanics, and they didn't bother me. I ain't bother them. So I just think we just need to see the beauty and the value in where we are and what we are able to do with what we have. And stop running from ourselves. Just turn around and be the best you can be right where you are. And I tell you, what we've seen in Miami Gardens as we have cleaned up, we've seen the streets get better. We've seen houses become better. We started to help our seniors to paint and to fix up and get their roofs in order. We've gotten a lot more people to become home buyers. And guess what? A lot of folks are moving back home. So we're excited about that. That's what I want to say.
Oh, you've been putting in that work and it shows. And, I love what you're saying, especially about like coming back home to Miami Gardens and building that up. And also to the marketplace. We got to have a separate conversation because I would love for you to go more into that and break that down for business owners, because I think a lot of people need to know more about the marketplace that you created. So thank you for breaking that down. I know right now it's crunch time. Mental health is a hot button issue right now, and we're changing that stigma about that, especially in the Black community. I'm really happy about that. I want to know what's keeping you motivated. What's on your playlist right now that you're listening to as you're campaigning? I know that takes a lot of energy. What are you listening to that's giving you that extra boost of energy right now?
I listen to every single morning Marvin Wayans' song, Hymn of Consecration. And it always gets me right down on the floor on my face. Because, this is a contact sport that we're in. You got to be able to take a lot of hits. But you also have to be able to surrender to the Lord. That no matter what the outcome is, that you're just going to do what God tells you to do. You're going to say what he tells you to say. You're going to become whatever he tells you to become. And no matter if it doesn't turn out to be what you wanted, you have to be able to accept that God wanted that. And that he's in control of your life, that he's in control of your circumstances. And when you're able to surrender all of your outcomes to the Lord, when you're able to trust that this is not about you, that this is about assignment that God has placed you on, then I've been able to take a deep breath and be able to say, I can only go as far as I can go, and that the end is trusting God that his outcome is going to be whatever he says it's going to be. And that whatever that is, that I'm going to throw up both my hands and I'm going to say, Father God, I thank you. I thank you for the opportunity. I thank you for the lessons. I thank you for the people you put in my way. And I thank you, Lord God, for choosing me for this assignment. And if this is the end, I thank you anyway. So, there's a point in which you can only go so far. And you just have to trust that whatever God has for you, that's what it is for you. And if this is the end, then you just have to ask him what's next. You know, if this is the end of this journey, then Father, what next do you have for me? Because you are in charge of my life. You're in charge of it. So this whole thing is about waking up in the morning and giving my whole day to the Lord and trusting him every step of the way, even when I don't really be knowing. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know. Or, you know, when you've been betrayed, when you've been let down, when you're not sure, when your money run out, you know, what you got? You ain't got nobody but the Lord. You don't have nobody for him but him. And then it's like, once you can trust him, I'm telling you, every penny means, you just say, Father God, I thank you for this penny. Because if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have it. You know, and it can settle you down. You know, I get emotional thinking about it, because I just can tell you that it's when you out here in the sun and you 50 shades of black and you got people calling you everything but a child of God, you got to know that you're here for him. You understand? You got to know that. You got to know it. You got to know it. Otherwise, you'll just give up and walk away. You know, you'll say, I ain't doing this. You know, forget y'all. And you have to be home in the air conditioning in the bed. But I've been up since 4:30. I've been up since 4:30. Because when you on assignment, you know, you've been to college, right? When you got an assignment, you can't sleep.
Yeah, no, you got to get it done.
I said, I got to get this paper done. You know, so I'm on assignment and I can't sleep. So I've been up and I was out here before they opened, you know, just pushing, because my assignment says that I got to finish the race no matter what the outcome.
Ooh, that is a word. Are you a preacher on the side or a motivational speaker? Because this don't transfer into a life class over here.
You know, in a way, it is life. You know, like it's life. It's life. And when you believe something and you believe that it is ordained by something greater than you, you all of a sudden have to die. You know, the I in you got to die. And you got to be on something far greater than you, you know. And so there are times when I receive blessings, and I tell people this: I get those blessings, and it ain't because of me. It's stuff that my mama and my grandma and my daddy, they sold up in the atmosphere, but they didn't live long enough to get it. And so God is now allowing me to reap some of their rewards. And so I've determined that I got one son, and so I'm going to sow into the spiritual realm for him and my grandchildren, so that they will be blessed, because the Bible promises us that not only will we be blessed, but our seed will be blessed.
You know what? I think that's really interesting, and that speaks culturally. A couple of candidates mentioned that gospel music has gotten them through this time. No matter what you believe, no matter if you listen to a gospel song, it will get you through. It will
get you through.
Over, no matter what you believe, the words and that the energy of those songs. So I totally understand you listening to that right now, and that being your energy boost as you're out there campaigning. Before I let you go, I want to know, in your own words, as you're talking to your constituents and voters out there, we have a large minority artist audience. What would you say to them why they need to vote for you? What would you say in your own words?
I think that the thing that they can trust is that I'm trying to do what they asked me to do. See, like I aspire to translate what the voters are saying into meaningful action. So the HBCU camp, everything was about what they were telling me. They said, why these boys standing on the street? So I got to find a prescription for that. You follow what I'm saying? So what they have is a person who knows how to translate their desires into meaningful work. I've always done it. And so I've never done things. And see, I don't really say this is what I want to do. I say what comes to me, because I pray over it. So it don't be about me. It be about the solution. And I believe in the solution is what God is saying needs to be done. You understand what I'm saying? See, because if it get to be about me, it's going to be some wrong stuff. But when I'm trying to pull down what the Lord is saying that he needs to have happen over here, I just be looking for the person that it's supposed to be for. You understand what I'm saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
I don't need nothing. God has already met me at my needs. So what I'm doing is really for him to meet other people that they need. You understand? So I
Yeah.
think that what they can rest assured is that I'm not afraid to work. I'm not afraid to go after the things that they tell me are important. I'm not afraid or reluctant to play games. I'm not here to try to take nobody money. I don't need nothing. I don't need that. I just need my health and my strength. So if they can trust me and they can believe enough that I'm trying to do the very best for our community at large, then I am the person that they should vote for. But if they want somebody to try to play the I got you game, to try to go and point out the wrong that somebody else is doing, that if I'm the person that's just going to show up at every event, that's not me. I'm not here to show up to the events. I'm here to create meaningful opportunities for people. I am here to create events for them, not, I done been to enough events. I
Yeah,
go
it's
to
not selfish for you. It's not like self-serving.
mm-mm.
You're like, what do the people need? And I'm going to deliver that with the solutions that they're telling me that they
That's
need.
right. That's what they need. And I got 4 years to do that. I did what I could in my first four, even with the pandemic. I'm not about showcasing. I'm about on the ground work. I'm you understand what I'm saying? You
No,
know, like
I get that.
yeah, it's like what am I going to leave behind so that the next person may be able to look at my work and say, I'm going to pick up where she left off and I'm going to run the next leg of this race, or I'm going to make this better. Like when I look at Mayor Gibson, she left something for Mayor Gilbert to pick up on. You understand?
Hmm.
She started the Jazz in the Gardens, and look at what it has become. Mayor
Yes.
Gilbert came in and he said, I'm not going to be able to finish all these parks, but we're going to get these parks up and running. And now we're picking it up and we saying, now we're going to take us to the next level. So where you are looking at, we got to have people that we're bringing into office that's going to take the baton and run a hell of a race. And we don't want them to get in here and sit down and be cute. This ain't no cute thing. This is
Mm-mm.
about Black excellence, about us solidifying ourselves as a city when you come in here, that you find us at our very best, not at our very worst. And so when I look at people and they want to keep trying to act like, I'm saying you ain't got nothing else to do. You ain't got nothing else to do. Come on, man.
No,
Mm-mm.
I hear you. And Councilwoman Wilson, people may not know this, but Miami Gardens has districts. So what district do you represent? What neighborhoods do you represent? So they'll know when they're going into the voting booth.
I represent the area that I grew up in as a little girl. I'm right on the west side of 27th Avenue, all the way over to 42nd Avenue, from
Okay.
199th Street all the way down to 151st Street. So that includes Myrtle Grove, Golden Glades, Carroll City, Florida Memorial area, and even over there where the Home Depot is on 57th Avenue, all the way down to about 160, no, 159. We're all in uh, the factory area, back
Mm,
over in that area where your Rumbas is. So I have a high Hispanic population. I have a high Hispanic Black population. And we are just I like to say a cornucopia of diversity, when you look at Miami Gardens, and when we look at residential C4, we have one of the lowest crime rates in the city. We just are really the bedroom. We really are a bedroom community over there. And like I said, I grew up there. I have two universities, St. Thomas University and
yeah.
Florida Memorial University, and they are doing great. We have PACE that's been there ever since I can remember.
Hmm.
That is a powerhouse in terms of its academic program as well as its football program. And we have another school that's run by Mario Smith. He has an excellent private
Part
school
of that
that
school,
is,
yeah.
oh man, they are doing incredible work over there. And so if people are looking for, a private education, they will find some great things that are happening at that school, especially with young boys. I have a passion for the young boys because I worked with the Congresswoman for a long time when she started the 5,000 Role Models of Excellence project. And I tell you, we did some great work there. But what he is doing over there will move these boys down a trajectory that's nothing but going to take them up. So, we just are doing very good things in residential C4, but also in the city of Miami Gardens at large.
I love to hear it. And I'm going to just say it here first, breaking it to my audience, that High Low News is endorsing Councilwoman Katrina Wilson for re-election. Guys, we need to go out there and vote for her. She is doing the work. I voted for you. I'm a resident of Miami Gardens. And so I want my audience to know that you're doing the work and we need to support you. So we are giving you that High Low News endorsement right now. And I want to let you know, and I want to thank you for taking time to speak with me. And I appreciate it so much. So everybody, early voting is going on now through Sunday, and election day is August 23rd. Guys, get out there to those booths, the voting booth. And if you haven't mailed your ballot in, you need to do that like yesterday. But make sure when you go vote for Councilwoman Katrina Wilson. If you're in the Miami Gardens area, High Low News is endorsing her. We see the work that she's doing. She's been a friend of the company, and the support that she has given us over the years has been valuable. And so I appreciate you for your support. And I want to say congratulations in advance, because I feel like you're going to take it home. I'm hoping that you can take it home. So definitely want to give you our endorsement and that cosign.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I want you to keep up the good work. Okay, you keep it up. Don't slack, because when you are able to reach the people, you're able to have the most impact that you can ever imagine. You understand? And it means a lot to have media that can tell the stories that we need to have told.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Councilwoman Wilson, before you leave, how can people connect with you and support you, learn more about you? Where should they go when they want to connect with you?
Well, you can always connect with me at the Councilwoman's page on Facebook, as well as on Instagram, Katrina Wilson, Councilwoman Katrina Wilson, on each one of those social handles. But if you definitely want to reach me directly, you call my office at the city and ask for Jamal Ingram. He and I have worked together a long time. He knows how to follow up. He will get you in contact with me. All right. He is a very reliable young man. Isn't that true?
Yes, I have to give Jamal his props right now on during the interview, because he definitely helped me coordinate this, and he's a huge asset to you. Great guy.
Yes. So either one of those social media, as well as direct to my office, I promise you will reach out to me, and it won't take a long time.
Thank you again. I appreciate it. I know you got to get back out there to work. Thank you for taking time to speak with us here on High Low News. And congratulations on everything.
My pleasure. God bless you all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, what's up, High Low News family? This show is brought to you by Baptist Health's Pine App. Healthcare at your fingertips with the Pine App. Head to highlowNewsMiami.com right now to learn more about their app and all the new features created to improve your healthcare experience with Baptist Health. Thank you for tuning in.